Michael, if you don't mind me backing up a little bit, I was thinking about this when I was listening to your podcast interview today. When you were in college, and then when you were working your little boiler room sales jobs, this was a big thing with me. Because when you're in college, your senior year, or your entire time, actually, you have this little bubble of invincibility around you. When you're meeting with your grandma, when you're back for Thanksgiving in your hometown at the bar, people ask you what you're doing with your life. You just say, I'm in college. I'm a student. And they're like, okay, you're respectable. I accept you. When you have a job, even if it's a slimy sales job, if you wear a tie and get a paycheck, people think you're doing okay. But once you're in Hollywood, living in a flea-bitten studio, pursuing stand-up, that's when people raise an eyebrow when you tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
For sure.
I think, in the beginning, for sure.
I know not now. Now that you're opening for D'Elia, things have changed.
Sure.
But when you first move out and you're pursuing stand-up and you're working part-time at a Barnes & Noble...
I think that you don't hear it.
You don't hear what?
I don't think people are saying it to your face, but sure.
But you're one of, it sounds like
I think a lot more people like for instance, obviously, most importantly, my mom and dad. They were like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You have a degree. Just go work with your brother-in-law. What are you doing?
You talk a lot about your father, like, not being proud of you and stuff in your stand-up a little bit.
A little bit, but he is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
good,
exaggerated. No, I have a good upbringing.
But I imagine
they were for sure scared for a while. I mean,
for 5 years, probably until
for a little I think the difference was when I was doing the sales jobs, there wasn't consistent money and there was no passion, and like my mom was paying for me a lot.
Right.
Whereas in the beginning of LA, she was paying for me, but she saw a drive or some sort of like, you know what? He's not just partying. His work ethic is there. Maybe, but maybe a little bit. But she always had those little. They all have those like little things like where they fucking mail you a birthday card with a fucking resume for a job that's out here in LA.
Really?
Like there were like these little arguments for the first 4 or 5 years of like fights of like, well, you could get health insurance if you do, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because there's no tangible thing. As an actor or a stand-up, like there's nothing like especially stand-up. Maybe as an actor, you could be like, look, I got a co-star here. But as a stand-up, you know, you could be like, look, I'm good enough that I got on this show. That's not like anything. It doesn't show like there's so many accolades, little personal accolades you get in stand-up that don't make money or even put you on TV, but you know those are big wins for yourself.
Fucking huge wins.
So they don't see that, but I don't think you're right about what you're saying. Like, who knows what people were thinking though? Nobody. There was like I think I actually had one story where some guy was like, "Why are you doing that? I never thought you were funny." Like, and I was just I was like, okay. I was just like, and it was a friend kind of like an acquaintance, but I was just like, why is he coming at me? I was like a year in, but I was like, fuck you, and I was like trying to defend myself. But like most people, you don't know if you assume they're just like, oh my God, he went out there to do that. He's crazy.
And Michael, you also had the luxury of changing coasts. So you got away from your former life, which I think is a really important move. I tell people that, because I'm from Sacramento, and I spent a lot of time after college in San Francisco. It wasn't until I came down to Southern California and broke the umbilical cord, so to speak, from my parents, that I felt way better about myself and my self-esteem. But the problem for me was that after I graduated UCLA, which is where I went to school, I moved up to San Francisco, and I was a busboy in a restaurant trying to make it as a comedian. So like chicks that were in sororities that I was trying to fuck 2 years ago were now ordering a Garganelli pasta as I was mopping up the table right next to them. So for me,
humility, bro.
Dude, exactly.
Yeah, it was good for him.
And for me, there's this big shame thing about the comedy career that just now started to lift when things went better for me.
How old are you?
30.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely relate to that. But my whole thing was like, yeah, I mean, it's like I remember when I first moved to LA. Like I still kept close with all my buddies, like all my college buddies and my South Florida friends. Like, and they have all over the years come to shows and they love it and they're supportive. But like the things I missed out on that I knew I was like that sucked is like when you first get a job out of college and they would go on ski trips together or they do their little trips. Like I had to just be like, that's not going to be my life until later on. Like I missed out on all of that and it's cooler now. It's cooler, like the things like I'll like run into in different cities, like friends that I was like really good friends with in college, and like they're just weird. They're just like, "What's up, man?" Like they're just like they're like so excited. Right. Like this is like I'm not as excited about it as you are.
But I know when you walk into a room full of your old friends from college, I know your posture is a little better than it was when you first came to LA. You feel better about yourself now. That's how I feel, definitely.
Of course, but the one thing I do think is important that I don't think a lot of people in the industry do is I am very close to all of those people who they have kids now and their families. Right. Like not every day, but like I keep in touch with them maybe once a month here, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or text or like a group chain, that those guys, they never change towards me. Like they're still going to be like, they'll still make fun. Like there's a way to unplug with those real friends and let you know that you ain't shit. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll never, like some of the core fraternity brothers and friends will never be like, dude, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, but they'll still be like, you're a fucking bitch.
Were you